Good evening and welcome to this week's Black Mental Health is Black Health. I'm your host, Bronwyn, Ms. B. Lucas, the Black House Therapist. And tonight we're talking about those seasonal allergies. As I titled this one, AhhhhhChoo! So we're going to find out what can we do about that sneeze. So before we get started, you know what we do. We take in some deep breaths just to remind us to woosah. It's the end of the day. I might need to get rid of some stuff that's been going on. So let's get started. We're going to take 3 deep cleansing breaths. So tonight I have a little tool that's going to help us. When it goes out, that's when we're breathing in, we're filling up our lungs, then we're going to blow it out. So let's try it. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. One more in and out. Just a different way to help us think about breathing tonight. So, we have our guest, Gail Liggins, who's going to tell us a whole lot more about breathing. She's a respiratory therapist, but you know how we do. Gail, welcome to the show and tell us who you are and something cool about yourself.
Hi there. Well, my name is Gail Liggins, as she said, and I'm a registered respiratory therapist. And something really cool about me that the kids think I still like to go to amusement parks, if you can believe that. I love them. I love roller coasters. Wow. And when you get up at the top, sometimes you do lose your breath.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna let you have it. Well, you know what? I don't know. I don't know when I have been on a roller coaster. So yeah, I don't know how I would respond. It's so cool. We're gonna jump right in. So I thought about doing this, and a couple of years ago she was on, and people have been oh, somebody pointed out we do have matching necklaces, and it's totally by accident. Way
Oh,
cool though. Thanks, Mr. Denise. So I thought about doing this because man, the pollen count and everything has been high and people have been talking about it. So we're gonna kind of hopefully get an understanding of allergies. What are they? How do we avoid them? Are they bad? All these things. So we're going to jump right in. So tell me, Gail, what are allergies? We say, oh yeah, I got allergies. Da da da. What is an allergy?
well, it's an immune response to something your body just don't like. It perceives it as a threat. So what happens is that some people, there's lots of people who are normal. They don't have no problem when they go into a perfume counter. They don't have no problem. They walk right through. Other people go into the perfume counter, and as soon as they get there, they are just sneezing, coughing, wheezing, any of those things. All of those things are what we call triggers. But let's back up a minute and let's talk about what the immune system is. Because without your immune system, nothing happens. You have lots of things that the immune system plays a part in, but what we're going to talk about is the defense system that it does. It is a defense system made up of cells and tissues and organisms, and it protects your body usually from germs or illnesses or stuff like that. But if you can believe this, figured into your DNA, we all have things that are in our immune system. And so that's what the immune system does. It,
So let me get it right. The immune system is here to protect and fight off things.
yep, that's it.
And so our allergic reaction is because it can't fight it off or
The
it trips
allergic reaction comes when it perceives it as a threat
Mhm.
to your body. It perceives it. Now, normally, for some people, it's not a problem. But to people who are susceptible to that allergen or whatever it is, that's how you get an allergic reaction.
So that smelling of the perfume when you walk through the counter, or you go into a store that sells nothing but perfume, and there are all those smells, and you smell it deeper than others, and you start to itch, your eyes start to water. It's because the body, the immune system, perceives what you're smelling as a threat
Correct.
to it. Wow, wow. I just know I can't. I don't like going in them because I will itch. So it's a threat. That's interesting. So,
So, so that threat is called an allergy. Okay. And so when you say, I have allergies, you like, I have allergies to this or I have allergies to that. What you're saying is my body is not accepting some of the things that I am exposing it to. That's what you're really saying. So we have different kinds of allergies. We have food allergies. We have um, we have skin allergies. And what we're going to talk about tonight is seasonal allergies, because this time of year, everything is happening. People are coughing, people are sneezing, people are wheezing, and you also get these commercials on the TV that says, oh, we have this brand of medication, we have that brand of medication. Also, when you go into the grocery store or the drugstore, they have them sitting out in the front of the store. And the reason for that, because in the spring, okay, and in the fall seasons, they are allergies. So let me tell you what kind. Okay, I'll tell you by the months. Okay, this a seasonal allergy is an immune reaction that reacts to an airborne invader. Okay, and we have specific times of the year. We got tree pollen that's released in spring, um, and so that's February to May. And we got grass pollen that's in the late spring, which is April through August. And then we got weed pollen that's late summer, that's late summer and fall. So that occurs in August and October. I say
so
that.
wait a minute. You say from February to October, pretty much, is some kind of allergy season. So if you have outside allergies, you might be good from November, December, January. You got those 3 good months. Is that what you're saying?
Well, kind of, sort of, but different people have different kinds of allergies, because I know for myself, I am the February to the April. I mean, the February to April, that is my months. And I know that I have proven it to myself. I have, the life have shown me that during this time, you need to protect yourself. Gail, you need to protect yourself. So, how do you protect yourself? You ask. So, now I say, what I'm going to say is, it's going to sound unrealistic, but you avoid outdoor activities during your peak allergy season.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. So if your peak season is spring, which we're in now, and a lot of people have stuff going on in the springtime, which is, to me, the best time to be outside. It's not too hot yet, it's not cold. So we're going to avoid going outside to avoid the allergies.
I'm glad you brought that up. So this you have to identify your triggers, your individual triggers.
So what do you mean by trigger?
What are triggers? When the immune system mistakenly identifies a harmless substance as something it might harm the body. Okay, so you go outside, and like you see right now outside my door is in the morning, when the lovely little birds are chirping in their little trees, that there are things falling off the tree. So what you do, you don't go out the front of the house. You go out the back of the house. You don't have to be extreme. You have to learn and teach yourself what's going on with you. Springtime is a lovely time. Look, Easter is coming up. The kids are going to be out. They're going to be hunting the eggs, even though the price is high. They're going to be hunting fake eggs or doing what they do because everybody likes to hide them because it's a fun event. So, what you're going to do is protect yourself. And another way to protect yourself by avoiding activities outside, you could also wear a mask because now you can wear a mask and people don't even think it's unusual.
What does the
And
mask do? How does it help?
and by the way, during COVID, a lot of the allergies decreased, and the allergy medicine that they usually I mean, excuse me, the allergy medicine that they usually put out there on that cabinet wasn't selling because everybody was wearing a mask. So what the mask does, it gives a barrier to your nose and your mouth so no allergens can penetrate your respiratory system. The respiratory system is complex. And so how you get the nasal congestion, the coughing, the wheezing is that your body reacts and then it starts to produce secretions to try to wash away anything that is happening. That's what that immune system does. It starts those secretions. You get the cough, it's trying to blow out the allergen, and it's also giving you wheezes to give you a warning that okay, it's something really in your airway and you need to work on that.
So that's when you said it perceives it as a threat.
Yes.
What we're breathing in. We have somebody who says they have to wear a mask year round when they're working outside. And I mean, I totally get that too. So the body is saying, oh man, this is a threat. And so our eyes water. I guess is that washing away what's in there.
Yes, the eyes are washing away what's in there.
So that's the teariness, and you're coughing because the body's like, I want this out. I want this out. Wow.
Right. So other
Um,
things we can use as a prevention in your home, you can have an air purifier, and they really do work.
what does
Uh,
that do? How does it? What is it doing? We
So
hear
it
that.
is sucking in the air into your home, and it is literally getting rid of the allergies either by filter, or some of them have this mechanism where they kind of burn the allergy. So, but that's what it is. It's getting rid of the allergies in your home. It's sucking it out the atmosphere. That's what the purifier is doing. Then the other thing is, especially if you've been somewhere during the day and you know you've taken your medicine and you've been somewhere during the day and you got your clothes on, right? And you come home, what you need to do is put that in the dirty clothes, because if you've been to something that you have been next to, you are allergic to, you need to get rid of that. You need to wash that.
Mhm.
You need to get rid of it. It needs to be out of your atmosphere. So it's very important to, after you've been exposed to allergies, especially in the outside, come home and wear those clothes. You can't wear them again. Don't try it. Because
So if you're around your triggers, like you say, you want to come home. If you have tree pollen triggers, and you've been outside and you're like, oh, nose are itching a little bit. You're feeling that way. Whatever clothes you're wearing are now contaminated, so to speak,
yes,
and you'd
yes.
have to take them off. How do you figure out what your triggers are? I mean, because okay, let me tell you what I mean. Let's say you go outside right now and you come in and you're just like, oh, my ear, my eyes, everything is going, but you went outside and you don't know. What are some things you might do to figure out? Okay, I was
So
something.
So what you have to do is that you have to pay attention to your body. You have to train yourself to pay attention to your body. When you go out, that's how I know that February is really my worst month. And how I discovered that was that every time in the year when it was February, I would want to go to my doctor because I was coughing and sneezing and things of this nature. I'd be like, oh, I need to see a doctor. Or maybe I don't need to see a doctor. But now, since I know February is my trigger, I don't have to go see a doctor. I, have a prescription medication.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that's my trigger and I need to be careful. So, one thing you can do in paying attention to your body, you can keep a log. You can keep a log and you can start monitoring yourself. You can say, this month I went outside and my eyes started itching. Because believe it or not, you can have different allergies that different parts of your body think is being attacked. You can go to grass, somebody can be cutting their grass and you be driving by the car. If you have your window down, you can get down 2 blocks and your eyes start watering, but you're not coughing, you're not wheezing, and your nose is not running. So you know that your eyes are allergic to grass.
So that is interesting because I've wondered why I have different responses to different things. So one of the things I've done to help figure out what my outside allergens are is I'll go and look up the pollen count. And I was like, okay, when I have a bad response, okay, let me remember this was high this day. And I had that response again and it was high. Then I was like, oh, well, maybe that's something I need to avoid. But you said that about grass. I've had that experience. And you're right. I didn't know until recently that you can have a different response in different parts of your body. I'm like, well, what is this? Why am I having this response? It's like only one part of my body. Why does that happen? How does that work?
Well, the body is perceiving that it's a threat. The allergen, which is substance typically harmless for most people, that triggers an immune response and causes an allergic reaction. So that is when you know that, oh, this is a problem.
Mm. And now something you said I wanted to piggyback on because we say Black mental health is Black health and all of it impacts our health. Something you said that I want to point out is that when we're learning to figure out what we are allergic to, and you said we need to just pay attention. I want to encourage people to pay attention to your health, period. We can look at you said I need to maybe take notes. If you have a reaction to something you eat, you should be aware. Maybe don't eat it again. Or if you eat it again, you be ready. Maybe that was a one-off, but you're prepared. Even when your body starts to feel different and something's just not right, then when you're in that not right stage, check it out. We don't need to take things for granted. Oh, it's no big deal. Oh, it's this. Not a good idea. We really should, not just for allergy's sake, but take care. When you said that, I wanted to broaden that and maybe jot down. So when if you do go to the doctor, you're going to talk to the doctor about these are the things that are, bothering me. And here are the dates that bothered me. So I think that's also a good thing. Can our allergies affect other health issues? Is there any relationship that one thing could make something better or worse? Probably not better, but
Anything that has to do with your immune system, because the immune system is working all over the body to protect you, it can affect other places in your body and it can affect other places. So one of the things that it can affect is, how okay, I haven't got to this part yet, but when we talk about taking allergy medicine and things of this nature,
Mm-hmm.
what happens is that medicine can cause another part of your body to do something else. Like,
Oh.
like you take the allergy medicine and you go to sleep, and you
Mm-hmm.
figure, why am I sleepy? But you just took your allergy medicine. Or you can take your allergy medicine and you might get a headache when you didn't have a headache, or, other things. It can affect, because of the allergies and the medication you took, it can affect other things. But allergies and allergens are, what's the difference? The allergen is the part that, like I said, a substance, that's the trigger. The allergy is the response. Okay? That's the difference. So you got to know what each one is.
Hmm. It's
What
interesting. We think of medications as having side effects or one interacting, and I hadn't really thought about an allergy medication could do the same thing. And yes, some of them do, and it says may cause drowsiness, and so that's our response. And so even that can get in the way of you moving from point A to point B because now you're tired, now you're sleepy. Um, so
or the
mhm.
other thing, the other side of that, you can be irritable because you're sleepy.
Mm-hmm. And you can also be irritable because you don't feel good, which, we tie everything to mental health. Before I make comments about that, what are some impacts that allergies can have on our mental health?
Well, sometimes you just don't even want to get out of bed because you're thinking to yourself, it is April. Things are going in April. And when I get out this bed and open my car door, here we go. So you don't want to go to work because you are depressed about you're going to know you're going to have an allergy. So you don't want to go to work. Or the other thing is that if you get to work, something might happen. And then you are having an anxiety attack because if you get to work and I do this. And so we play all these things in our mind. But, Brown is the expert in that area and she could tell you exactly what happens. But all of these things is started because of our allergies. And so allergies plays an important part, and you have to, as we talked about a few minutes ago, learn about you. Keep yourself on the forefront of your
Mhm.
mind so you can protect yourself from what's going on. The other thing, we talk about self-treatment. Self-treatments are the thing. Well, one of the self-treatments is medication. I already mentioned medication, but for allergies, there are a few different kinds of medication. First, you got your antihistamines. So what your antihistamine does is stop that immune system from doing what it's doing. It actually stops it. So it stops the reaction before it comes. That's what an antihistamine. Histamine is something that is in your immune system, and we could be on that all day, but we're just going to say that it stops the reaction of what the immune system is doing.
So the antihistamine tells the body you're perceiving this threat and you're going to go on and do all this. So it's like, stop.
It stops it before it happens.
Mm-hmm. So is
Okay,
this like part of prevention if you were taking
right.
allergy medicine? Okay.
Right.
So an
That
antihistamine
one, that
prevention.
one is part of the prevention. That one is the antihistamine. Decongestions. So decongestions. So what happens is you had the reaction, your nose is running. And so you are using a billion tissues and your nose is running. And then all of a sudden it just stops. It
Mm-hmm.
stops because there's so much in there. It's actually have gotten clogged up. So that's when you use the decongestion. So what it does is stop the congestion from happening and helps it drain. That's what a decongestant does.
So we've got antihistamines, which stop the you before it happens. So once everything gets started and you're clogged up, that's when you take the decongestant.
Right.
Are there
Then
any
there's
other categories of medications?
then there are other kinds. There are nasal sprays. So what happens for a nasal spray, depending on what kind of nasal spray it is, you spray it into your nasal cavity. And what it does is give medication and it spreads all over your nasal system, but it also goes into your lungs and everything. So what that does is stop the allergic reaction. Also, there are some nasal sprays that are decongestants and they will open up the airways, cause you to run, open up the nasal passages and help it run. And so you can get that out of the way. That's what nasal sprays, some of the nasal sprays do. Now, you've heard of another particular type of nasal spray that has a steroid in it. So, what is a steroid? What it does is open it, what it does is loosen and open the airways and causes the swelling that is in your nasal passage when an allergic reaction happens. Swelling is part of it. So what it does is
Swelling of
decrease.
the nasal inside your nose.
Yes, it decreases that. It stops that from happening. That's what a nasal steroid does.
So are these medications both over the counter and prescription? These categories that you told us about.
Yep, they are. Okay, so the mild medications are at your pharmacy or your not pharmacy, at the drugstore. At the drugstore, like I said, during this time of year, you just walk into the front door, especially at particular drugstores. You walk in the front door and it's right there in your face.
Mm-hmm.
It's just right there. And so, yes. And then, but if that is not working and you feel you need to see a physician because it is to the degree that you can't sleep, you are coughing so much, you can't sleep. Your nose is so tight. You have used your nasal spray. You have used the medication by mouth. Nothing is working. Then you have to go to the physician and he gives you something stronger because what you get at the drugstore is really mild because that's what's legal. When it has to be prescription, when it gets to the point where you can't sleep, sometimes you can't even eat. The reason why you can't eat is because in the back of your throat, all this stuff is draining in the back of your throat and you coughing and you just don't even have an appetite anymore.
And also, it impacts your sense of smell and taste. And
Yes.
there is a strong relationship to what we eat and what we smell. And when you can't smell it because your nose is stopped up, the desire to eat is like, oh, I want to, yeah, it didn't taste right. As we wind down, hopefully people have learned a few things about allergies and allergens and reactions that you didn't know. And the point of this is just knowing more and having an understanding and not just, I got allergies, but having an understanding of what they do to your body. Understanding that understanding can also help with the mental health because you know what's going on, not just like, something else and I feel this way. So the point was to get us to just know a little bit more about our body and how our body works. It's a complex issue, understanding our body. We may never fully understand it. Do you have any final takeaways you want to share with us?
If you have an allergic reaction that just hits you, just right out the blue, it just hits you out the blue. You just like, what is this? What is this going on? So move away quickly. Drink water because actually there's that water again. Water actually helps wash out your system. Okay, even when you're drinking it after a reaction happens, you want to drink your water. Okay, and then just go take something, just go to the store and try to find something that you feel that will give you relief. And the best thing to do is to go ahead and carry a mask. Just carry it. I carry masks everywhere, not just because I'm a respiratory therapist, but because I have allergies. And when you do, that's just an easy protect. Just throw it on, especially in an area that you know that's going to
Mm-hmm.
have your allergy, your allergen, your trigger. Know what those things are.
Well, thank you for sharing this about allergies, allergens, and triggers. So, if you enjoyed the show, like it, share it on your page, and let others know. And come back, follow, like, you know what you need to do. And our call to action tonight is know your body. Know your triggers for allergies, know your triggers just for your health. Take care of your health, and it will help you take care of your mental health. Somebody even mentioned that they do local honey, and I do too, because where you are from, we don't have time to get into that, but if you are sweetening things, using local honey can benefit you. Look it up because we're out of time. But I always say the last call to action is always, always, always be an empowered, educated voter. Lots going on. Even how that can even impact this topic because how we manage the earth impacts our health. How we manage the earth can impact our reaction to the earth. So be an educated voter. Take care of your health. I'm Ms. B, the Black Couch Therapist, and I'm here to help you become a better you. Gail, thank you so much for joining us. And audience, I'll see you next week.